Welcome back to CloudOps Lab. This is episode 8 of the DevOps Foundation series. In the earlier episodes, we moved from CI/CD into GitHub Actions, Docker, AWS deployment, and Kubernetes basics. Now we are continuing the same beginner-friendly path with beginner DevOps interview questions and answers. Interviews are easier when you answer from a system, not from memorized definitions. In this episode, we will connect common beginner questions and answers to the workflow we have already built. The goal of this episode is not to memorize every command. The goal is to understand the mental model so the tools become easier to learn later. When you learn DevOps, always ask 3 questions. What problem does this tool solve? Where does it fit in the path from code to production? What should I check before trusting it in a real release? For beginner DevOps interview questions and answers, those questions are the difference between copying commands and actually understanding the workflow. Concept 1. What is DevOps? A strong beginner answer is that DevOps is a way of improving how teams build, test, release, and operate software. It connects development, operations, automation, and feedback. Concept 2. What is CI/CD? CI checks changes automatically. CD prepares or performs releases automatically. The key idea is reducing manual risk and making every change easier to trust. Concept 3. Why use Docker? Docker packages an application into a repeatable image. It reduces environment differences and gives pipelines and deployment platforms a consistent artifact to run. Concept 4. What is Kubernetes? Kubernetes runs containers and keeps the desired state true. Deployments manage pods, services give stable access, and probes help control traffic and restarts. Concept 5. How do you handle failures? A good answer mentions logs, metrics, health checks, rollback or roll forward, and learning from incidents. DevOps is not about never failing. It is about recovering safely. Now let us connect this to the full DevOps chain. Code still starts in Git. A pipeline still checks the code. Docker still gives us a repeatable artifact. Cloud and Kubernetes still run the application, but beginner DevOps interview questions and answers helps us manage the next layer of reliability. This is why DevOps is not one tool. It is a system of habits. You want changes to be visible. You want infrastructure to be repeatable. You want releases to be automated. You want failures to be easy to investigate. You want learning projects to look like small versions of real production systems. Here is the beginner checklist for this topic. 1. Explain answers using the code to production workflow. 2. Use examples instead of only definitions. 3. Mention automation, repeatability, and feedback. 4. Connect Docker, CI/CD, Cloud, and Kubernetes together. 5. Be honest about beginner level while showing clear thinking. 6. Prepare one small project story you can explain end to end. 7. Practice explaining a failed deployment and how you would investigate. 9. Know the difference between logs, metrics, and alerts. 9. Keep answers simple, structured, and practical. If you can explain these points in your own words, you are no longer just watching DevOps tutorials. You are building a practical mental model. Before we finish, remember this.
You do not need to become an expert in every tool immediately. Start with the workflow, then learn the commands, then build small projects, then improve the setup one piece at a time. In the next episode, we will compare Jenkins and GitHub Actions so you can understand when each tool makes sense. If you want the free DevOps Foundations checklist, check the link in the description. Subscribe to CloudOps Lab and comment interview if you want a follow-up hands-on lab for this topic. DevOps becomes easier when every tool has a clear job in the system.